You don't get to see that in a broadcast very often.
So Seb took leap, he double leapt, he's Gucci.
Yeah, he has leap.
Am backing OG in this game 3. Thank you. Thank you.
Free Naga game, he said. Now that you've seen the 5th and final picks for both teams, do you still stand on that hill?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think Leshrac is not a good enough answer to Naga side?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Xtreme have a couple problems they're going to have to solve. One of them is also this Razer. What happens when BKB Razer runs into them and he links the gyrocopter?
Yeah, that's a problem. I could see that, yeah.
And I've also seen this draft before. Do you know where I've seen this draft before, Austin? Do you know where I've seen Mirana Tiny Naga before, Austin?
We have had this conversation. You know I don't remember Dota games.
Okay, well, let me take you back. A little time machine. I'll pull a little Pyrian flags. All the way back to a small little indie tournament called TI in Singapore.
Oh, TI-11.
Yeah,
all right.
there was a small indie Dota team called Tundra Esports that won that tournament.
Oh.
And what did they win it with, Austin?
Wraith Pack.
Well, yeah, but they also abused the push and the pull, as I call it. They push the lanes in, they send the illusions in, the vision scouts out, you feel the pressure, and then bam, somebody gets tossed in the back and they're arrowed in the ass. And that's how you do it. And this is the same core structure that Tundra abused at that TI around the Naga Siren. You have the Naga Siren to push the lanes in, to send the illusions in the fight. While you're dealing with those, everybody's moonlight shadowed. You can't see anything. It's just ghosts in the mist. And then suddenly somebody gets tossed back. And what do you do about the toss back this game if you're XG? Well, you can X somebody.
Yeah, I was going to say you can X to spot them.
That's hard. Somebody's getting netted. There's an arrow flying out. There's a chakram coming through. Whisper, I think, has shown from last game. This draft is pretty predicated on countering the Timbersaw, making his game hard. His game was hard, but he still had insane impact that game.
He did.
All he has to do this game is deal damage off the Tiny and the Mirana setup. I like what OG got going for them. I think XG once more committed to a very magic-heavy lineup that's really oriented around the spell casting. And if OG can get to items like Shroud, BKB on the Razer, Blink BKB on the Timber later, they just play off the tossbacks, the illusions setting up nets and arrows, this type of gameplay, I think the fight looks really hard for XG. Now, there's a world where they can snowball again like they did game 1 and just play off Aegises on the gyro. I think that is a route to victory there, but I don't know if the lanes are going to go as well for them as they did last game, and I don't know. I just feel like OG's going to win.
Okay.
Happy to be surprised. Either way, I just am a good Dota enjoyer, ultimately. I hope both teams win. And I hope you lose.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Well, that's the thing. Talent never loses. We always come out on top.
I have been losing for years. But so far, it's XG winning this laning phase.
Oh, yeah, they're doing really...
Shift click behind the tower! Please! You've been like top 3 at like 8 TIs. Just shift click behind the tower.
8 TIs.
God damn.
Is Ame even playing Dota 8 TIs ago?
It's killing me, dude. I can't watch any more carry courier decks. It's such a big deal. You lose so much net worth and regen.
Zame's dead? Okay, no, he's still at Lotus. So he's okay.
God.
I mean, maybe they would have killed him if he had whatever items were on that courier.
It's physical pain right now.
you just see Avery. Avery's rocking back and forth.
Oh, my chest hurts.
Like he's a shell-shocked victim.
I'll recover. Man. I'll recover. But these things are big losses. When you're winning CS battles, when you're winning lanes like this, you run the courier. That's your snowball mechanism. You lose that, you're just back to square one. It's breathing room for Whisper on this lane. A lane that Ame was dominating. Still is, but he could be dominating more. Look at the items in his stash, man.
What does he got?
This is the most loaded courier at 4 minutes I've ever seen.
God, I hope he gets it sniped again. Oh, that would be so good for me.
Standing up and leaving if he runs it. If he runs it on the upper tree line again.
He's running. He's running right now, that's for sure. Oh, Whisper comes back in, and they actually get the...
He's actually dead. Because look at it, it's on this thing. It's an entire Wand Falcon Blade South. That is how much that courier did in this lane.
It got Whisper first blood?
It got Whisper first blood. You say courier kills don't matter. You say the small things don't matter, but they add up. And you're playing a lineup that is magic damage snowball oriented. So these things matter. You're racing against BKBs.
You're racing against time, right? The Naga Siren.
I mean, yeah.
Push-pull mechanism you're talking about?
Exactly. The push-pull, it's coming. I don't know. To me, this is a spooky game. Now, you do have a huge amount of team fight. And I think the supports also scale better for XG than last game. I think that's a big factor that this isn't some one-sided game because you have Hoodwink Bat, you have BKB Pierce
Get him
the
with the
lasso.
Acorn. He's dead.
And I think this Hoodwink did a lot of work for OG last game. I think Jin-Q can pick up a lot of the slack here, right? If he gets the Gleipnir Daedalus like Ara did, I mean, then all bets are off.
Sure.
Like, you just get a fourth core. This hero is very spooky with what it can do. And I think that was a problem XG ran into is that Disruptor Rubik combo just can't do anything in that BKB man fight. It's like Disruptor's worst nightmare is BKB Mirana hitting him. So that is the ace up XG sleeve here, is if Jin-Q can continue to scale. We've seen him scale really well. Haste Rune's going to be spooky for him. He fakes the Watcher and then runs away.
It would also mean that if he does get that kind of scaling, he would also be able to help deal with the Naga Siren's pressure, right?
Yes, it helps a little bit, even just in the fight. And of course, you have Torrent Storm Leshrac. It is a lot of AoE for Naga to run into. What happened to this Naga Shroud build that we saw a couple games? I feel like that build was
Eternal Shroud?
Yeah, I feel like that build was not bad in some of these lineups where you're just dealing with super heavy magic damage. But I haven't seen anybody really go it in this group stage 1 or 2.
I don't remember. Did they go it like after Manta? What was the build up?
Yeah, sometimes second item. Manta Shroud instead of this like Orchid or Heart. Not saying it's like the craziest build ever, but I think it is something interesting where you just become really tanky versus these magic lineups.
Yeah,
definitely
definitely
in the fight.
Definitely worth exploring against this kind of lineup, which is a lot of magic damage and also a lot of little instances of magic damage, which can get you to that max magic resistance right away.
And I don't think the Naga has to be the primary damage source in this game for OG.
Bumping back, BZM going to be chased down by 4 heroes of Xtreme.
They brought the squad for his. Gets a little zap at the end, but that was a greedy farm. Maybe not expecting the defensive ward early from XG, but they had one, protecting those little stacks, and big pickup. He was having a pretty good game.
So it sounds like to me, Xtreme should win most 5-on-5s, at least, you know, for the first like 30, 35 minutes, but they shouldn't get that because of the Naga Siren and repositioning of Toffs that you were talking about. So if you're Xtreme, how do you force 5-on-5s? How do you get OG to take an honest, good old team fight against you?
Well, Roshan is your friend.
Lightning. Oh, look at that stack of heroes right there. If they could pull him back into this boat, it'd be fantastic. BZM in some trouble.
Oh, that
arrow gets a little bit of space, but he's going to get burned out either way. DY's there on the side. Jin-Q cleans up Whisper. What a terrible fight for OG.
Yeah, they just jammed in there, and I mean, that was a 3-man bushwhack, right? That was disgusting.
Here it comes.
Yeah, that is just nasty. That is straight nasty. It bought so much time here. You do lose XM, but this was a 4-man move from OG to try and invade the triangle early, use the strength of this Razer, and they just met a boat bushwhack head on. Power of the early game spells here. Honestly, I'm surprised they made that move. I wonder what prompted it.
They just... I mean, like you said, right? They wanted to be able to get into the triangle, make sure there's no gyro stacks going on, I guess.
But it's early to do that, and I feel like if you're going to make a move, you want to make it on Ame here while he's bottom.
Ame drops the call down, hits a couple heroes. Whisper gets a bit low, but You get the kill on DY without losing anybody.
He has a salve, so he can regen back up. I just would not want to fight into this Kunkka in the early game. He's exceptionally tanky. He will set up the follow-up stuns from the Hoodwink and the Lesh. Oh, nice pick off from Jin-Q.
Boy, Jin-Q is finding Zeb quite a lot.
And this is the wild card fact. Like, he is going to get big this game. He already has Falcon Blade. He's eyeing Maelstrom. I love me some Scale and Hoodwink. I think this is where this hero shines.
I mean, this is looking like such a wise drafting decision by them because they took it out of the hands of Ahri as well, right?
Yep.
Not only is it succeeding for them, but it's Ahri's best hero, no doubt.
I think it was a really good pickup out of the face. Gives them some extra scaling security here. Another wave clear that you're happy to take the waves. Like some supports, they clear the waves, but you're not super happy with what they're going to do with that gold. Hoodwink, you're happy with it. I still think Razer can scale pretty hard in this game, but BZM's start has been slowed down considerably.
Yeah, sitting last in the net worth of all the cores.
See if we can use this Arcane Rune. They're going to go for the Kunkka again. So if they get a full link on the Lesh or the Kunkka here, they should be happy with that fight. But he's spooky, he's tanky. See if XG TPs to defend him. He's up really far in the lane. They're TPing, but this is really deep.
XSS is going to make this annoying for them. Pulls the Razer back with the X and gets away from a lot of these heroes. I think he's good to go. Because the rest of Xtreme Gaming are here. Whisper actually making that dive on through. It's a good thing he didn't get hit by that sharpshooter shot.
Nice sidestep. Honestly, OG lucky to get out of there without losing anybody. Good thing they banned that disruptor. Somebody would have got a glimpse there. Dude, I can't remember the last time I've seen a disruptor ban. That's insane.
Well, we learned some things from this series. No more mid Earth Spirit. Maybe no more disruptor.
I mean, it did do work in that game.
I mean, it did. It's just, you know, an underpicked hero, never really drafted, loses the game. I feel like you end up losing faith in it pretty quickly.
Teach their own. I'll try and fall back a little bit and farm up the Naga and the Razer here. Quick tower off that rotation. Nothing really left to do with that rotation for XG, except convert on it. And they have a couple stacks, but XM's going to clear through them. So there's not some mega ancient stack waiting for Ame here. Still fairly even game. I mean, that one botched move into this area for OG did cost them a decent amount. And a Yule's Rush for the Kunkka. Very interesting pickup. No Blade Mail, no Ags Rush, just Yules for extra catch, extra setup. Another interrupt for this Timber going through. Another interrupt for the Razer, who's going Manta first. This BKB is going to be a long way away, so you're going to get value out of this. Interesting idea. See if you can make it work. Also a way to dodge some of these, like, tiny combo into arrow, net into arrow, these types of shenanigans if he wants to frontline. Another tower goes down to the Shrek. So this game looks very similar to game one. Not as snowbally, not as one-sided, but very similar setup.
Pull back into lasso.
Easy pickoff.
Easy pickoff. 7-3, 2,000 net worth lead for Xtreme Gaming.
And a lot of that is on Jin-Q here. To me, that's still the one big difference. Like, you have this momentum, you have a decent early game, you're building a lead with this heavy magic tricore, but now you have a Hoodwink to help pick up some of the slack. That feels a lot better than the Rubik here, who is just giving you more of what your cores already had. 3 tier 1s down at 14 minutes.
Yeah, and they smoke back. They're just going to sweep across the map. I mean, Xtreme, they know they got to take pace to this game, and I love this move.
Especially if you can find the Naga off it. That would be the dream, but
That
they'll
would be
take
the
anything.
best one. But instead, they're going to run into Seb, who quickly leaps away. They get the X on Ari instead. So he'll be the victim of this smoke gank. Does keep all the lanes pushed in, though. So Naga Siren quickly heads for the hills.
Yeah, OG's gonna have to split and rat this map for a bit. This is the hard part of the game for them in terms of taking the fights. And XG want to get as much value out of this as they can, especially with all tier 1s down. You have a lot of room to operate. A lot of farm you can soak up, especially on 2 supports who can clear waves.
Whisper, hard to get that Timber Chain timing right against X.
Does have the Yules, and he will get the catch into another X. So Yules pays off. You can just buy so much time. X, Torrent, he walks away, you Yules him, you get another X.
I don't know, X is done already for Ame. This Leshrac is getting mighty big. And the Kunkka's right there next to him on net worth. That's pretty impressive. It's looking to be like Xtreme is going to hit quite the timing here around 20 minutes. BCM smoked up with his 2 supports. They run into DY. Similar situation to the Xtreme smoke. They probably would have liked to run into the enemy carry, but
yeah, they were looking for a low HP Ame, but they'll take a free support. Try and get the power rune, and that's a good one. DD.
XM's pretty scary to fight into right now. And if he has any backup, you're not winning that fight. X pulled back as X marks the spot is causing a real issue for OG. It's locking down these heroes. They're just not able to get away a lot of the time. Song used, Tomato making a break for it, is not going to TP out. He's going to stay out on the map.
You do not want to give up map here. It's just going to bleed more and more pickoffs. XG ramp up the pressure. OG continue to try and rat this game a bit. This would be a nice pickoff if you can secure it.
Need a little bit more. Starstorm finally comes in. Seb able to finish him off. Good read by Ari, seeing that opportunity. They don't even get the counter kill. So that's going to delay up the Bloodstone a little bit, which was definitely one of the more concerning timings, right? If he gets that early Bloodstone, it's tough to bring down that Leshrac in a team fight.
You're still just trying to push towards this Razer BKB. I feel like that is what defines a lot of the next stages of this game in terms of the team fighting, how much you can man up for Roche if you're XG. The blink is done for the Timber, so his blink Kai is online. OG are getting there. This game didn't snowball out of control. It's still 2K difference. Jin Q is that difference. And they're looking for the Torrent Storm. That would be the signal to me to start trying to maybe force Roshan fights.
DY almost running into Seb with the lasso. We'll be able to get him.
Yeah, just out of charges here. OG don't want to take that fight before the Razer BKB.
They do have Blink Dagger now.
It's a big part of the puzzle.
Really scary. Now you can get that Blink toss back, but also just the Blink combo with the Mirana arrow after that. Ton of single target damage.
Another smoke. Designed to hit the Naga.
Dire are scanning.
This is a decent chance of landing. They know these illusions are continually coming out of top. Yeah, there's the fresh batch, so will the smoke pop? Got a 50-50. They're going to guess right. Might get him here, but there's song potential.
Not going to get it off. The bushwhack lands. They got the chain stuns to follow it up. Just as he picked up the Orchid, too. Every single Naga Siren death is a huge blow to OG because, as you said, you don't want to give up the map, right? And you give up the most amount of map when you straight up die on that hero.
Really nice find for XG. Just a perfect smoke. If that doesn't land, you feel really bad about it, but they're feeling really good about the fact it connects. The exact target they want. They have a lot of interrupt with this Kunkka.
Got the BKB, so this is a perfect time to challenge. No, don't let him TP away. Okay, they got the damage.
What was he doing? I mean, that was an aggressive tower hit.
Yeah,
not respecting this Tiny in the game.
It's kind of looking it's a little sus in this gyrocopter. Fumbled a little bit in game 2, and maybe that wasn't the best positioning here.
You definitely hold him to a very high standard.
Tomato wants to make use of the Orchid, but he runs into a Leshrac who has a Bloodstone. With the that is a perfect way for your Xtreme to close out that team fight.
Xin-Q from downtown.
Level 2 sharpshooter.
And he got Grove Bow.
He got Grove Bow. He's soon going to have a Gleipnir.
This is the dream. This is what I get to do. This is what I do in my pubs, and I get flamed for it.
Well, are you 1-0-11 or whatever?
Maybe.
What was his? 5-1-6, excuse me.
He's going to be huge this game. There's just not much to stop him because you're not going to see this guy in the fight. It's not going to be the target you're tossing back. It's one of the hardest supports to initiate on in these tree lines.
Yeah, at best, maybe it's the Tiny who can catch him, but
you want to be tossing. You want to be tossing this Lesh with pre-BKB,
right?
Tossing this Kunkka into like arrow chain stun.
Radiant are scanning.
Setting up a Razer link. BKB done for BCM, as the Gleipnir's done for Xin-Q. So these team fight items are online for both teams. Neither team really great at taking Roche fast. They want to force it. OG are down here, but your lineup just doesn't do it unless you're willing to commit the Naga, which if you commit the Naga, you're giving up a lot of map control, and you know XG are going to fight you anyway, so just play for the fight. There'll be a smoke from XG looking for the initiation with the blink on the bat.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
OG dodge. Back to rat mode.
Ari will be the victim of this smoke gank, but obviously much better for him to die than any of the cores on OG. Meanwhile, OG have a big push going in top lane, but Xtreme can't set up for just taking Roshan here. And you said that's one of the best ways to force, you know, OG to try and fight you. Try to take those 5-on-5s, right? Just go for objectives, go for Roshan, early tier 2s.
OG were decisive though, right? Like they are just farming the whole map. They split it really nicely. They had Whisper deep on XG side, taking Ancients, shoving that top lane in.
Yep.
They got everything off this map. That's a net worth loss for XG over this last minute or two, taking Roche, which is what you want if you're not going to take that fight. So very efficient here from OG despite giving up the kill into the loss, and this will be that Aegis period for Ame that he was looking for last game. This is what you want on the gyrocopters. Hero needs that second life to be able to push his advantage. Second BKB done for OG in this Timber. And again, this goes back to the crux of this game. Do you have damage to throw into these BKB cores? Because they have damage to throw into you.
On which side?
If you're XG.
Caught him on the Gleipnir, but Ari, he was waiting the whole time for Xin-Q to try and chase up a perfect amount of patience. Leads to that kill, helps save Seb, and looks like they'll run down DY as well. Really great setup from OG there.
Yeah, Seb with the tip.
But can't I say the same thing about OG? Are you going to have the damage to put into this BKB Leshrac? Because he almost has it.
Yeah, I think that's Razer. Razer shreds this hero. You don't have the armor to sustain the fight. He just BKB runs you down with ult. It's not a great matchup for Lesh until like way later in the game.
Counterpoint, he's going to have like Coco's rum.
Yeah, Rum is okay. But again, I go back to the team fight mechanisms. You have tossbacks, you have net arrows, you can poke and prod, you can displace somebody. In theory, OG aren't just giving you a straight 5-on-5. And it's on XG to force that type of issue. Force the objectives, use this Aegis on Ame. That is what XG want to do right now.
Almost got him on the X there. Would have been very nice just to try and force the BKB.
And Ame will go his own BKB this game, which, you know, he was thinking about it last game, and
yeah, he got it pretty late last game.
He's going to opt earlier for it here. So you can trade out the BKBs now as the less Shrek one is also done. Yeah, in a situation where you just BKB into BKB. But the pickoffs continue.
Nice pick.
And look at the waves. They're getting cut by Naga.
Yeah, I mean, it is happening kind of what you were saying, right? The Naga Siren is pushing in these side lanes.
Shroud.
They have to show on some of these heroes. There's the Eternal Shroud.
This was the build I was looking for in a lot of these Naga Lesh games. I think it just creates too much value to ignore. You can just run in, be way tankier, create a lot more space, set the fight up for your other cores. BZM trying to force it.
BZM is going to use his BKB, go straight for XM, try and take down this Leshrac, and he has to go for the TP away. They had the lasso on the Razer. They were actually doing an okay job fighting, but now they don't have the Leshrac, and they're all grouped up for a combo of hell from Ari.
He has it on his courier. It gets delivered.
Okay, now he's got his BKB, but he's already been songed. Torn Storm is going to be weighted out.
Arrows
Can Ame arrow?
Oh,
got off the BKB. He's going to be okay, but his damage is going to get drained by BZM, so he has to TP out. One after the other. I mean, the Leshrac TP'd out. Did he have to do that?
I mean, it was a full link. That Bloodstone wears out. He gets absolutely shredded there. I don't know. It's dicey, man. But at the same time, like that's your BKB and Aegis on the gyro. That's the BKB on Lesh. If your fight with that is you're just getting out of there,
it's not great.
Yeah. What do you? What's the game plan?
Yeah. What's the game plan for the next team fight? Because you're supposed to be able to win fights.
I think this Razer he's gonna be a problem. Another DD rune as well. Now BKB's on cooldown.
Is going to get grabbed by Ari again. No, he does the grabbing this time around. Hits him with the Gleipnir.
Oh, that arrow
with the sharpshooter. Arrow came in and hit DY right as he was cutting across for the lasso. Nice Manta dodge by Tomato. Gets away from the missile. While Whisper hits a big Blink Dagger Timber Chain hit. That'll be enough to scare back Xtreme.
And the BKB's coming up for BCM, so
yeah,
he's back and fighting for us, ready to go. Remember, he gets this link on Ame. I feel like the fight's kind of over. This matchup is just borderline unplayable. And they don't have any BKB control. They don't even have real utility to deal with the Razer right now. No Force Staffs, no Lotus Orbs. The itemization for the supports was all aggression. Carry for Jin Q, Blink Drums for the Bat. Can't blame them because they were snowballing, but at this point, doesn't help your cores deal with these matchups. And OG are starting to build a lead. They miss another initiation.
TPing in. They still want to play this.
Dude, look at the map, man. Every time you clump for these plays, you just lose so much pressure.
Yeah, I wonder if they don't get this. Yeah, Seb successfully evading them. There's nothing else really here. I mean, I guess Wisdom Rune, they're going to try and make a break for that one. Seb is already one step ahead of you, though. Hits the arrow, grabs the Wisdom Rune, tries to get a leap away, but he'll be pulled back by the X.
Well, he got it.
That's even more time for the Naga Siren to go to work, but Xtreme are just trying to jam it right now. They take the Tormentor.
I mean, they have to, like, the strength of their lineup is the 5-man around the Kunkka and the Lesh. They're going to bleed pressure on the other lanes, but you can make up for it with taking objectives. Tormentor into tier 2, that's a nice one. Pushing this Kunkka towards his own BKB. Bloodthorn done for the Naga. This is some damage. And more poke damage. Same build from Whisper as well. Just this Blink BKB Lincoln's really obnoxious with going in, getting out. They'll stop finding Jin Q.
Oh, Whisper guessed a little wrong there.
That was he did not have the gem. He passed it off, so.
are scanning.
It's beginning to feel like, I don't know, maybe there's like some super late game difference that's going to happen, but it's beginning to feel like to me that if Xtreme doesn't manage to get this second Roshan, the game is just going to close out on them.
I just don't see the scale. Like, you're basically playing a single physical core gyro into Razer, who's going to link his damage, Mirana, who can invis everybody so flaks don't guarantee hit, a Timber who's just like blink chaining out.
Okay,
Needs
that
a
is
lot
a
more.
big shard. That'll help
Yeah,
you a
that
bit
helps.
with the Razer.
You can drag somebody in.
They're going to try and jump XXS. He's a little bit low, too, so they will successfully pop him. Too much damage, and they took the gem away. Or tried to take the gem away. Somebody pick it up. Somebody get out of there with the gem. Ari will be left behind here by Yules. Or maybe not. Tomato is still around. They get a lot of heroes grouped up. XM goes right into all this one. So many heroes. Yeah, he's linked by the Razer, but as long as he pushes into a group of OG, the Bloodstone can keep him alive.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A little gem fumble hurt OG there as they end up having to use a lot of utility to try and bail the Tiny out, and then that Gleipnir with the Acorn going through, Jin-Q catches him. And that's going to be the Daedalus for the Gyro. So there's some of the physical damage pickup that you want to see out of this lineup. I like this itemization choice. Like, if you go the Satanic first, I just don't think you have enough firepower. You need more. You need to pose a threat in this BKB trade that dissuades the Razer running in, dissuades this Timber if he ever gets caught by a stun or something.
Yeah. The biggest thing, pushing back that Razer. Right? If that guy wants to step up and BKB, try and latch onto your Leshrac or something, you gotta make sure this guy can't just sit on top of everybody. We'll see if the Daedalus does just that. Roshan's going to be up in 30 seconds here. 5K net worth lead for OG.
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind some extra utility out of XXS this game after his BKB. Like, BKB necessary, but after that, like, you do have this Bloodstone build option, but like, even a Lotus Orb does not sound the worst here because you're building very greedily on the Hoodwink.
Trying to blow him up. BKB is here for XM, and he'll turn around with the Bloodstone.
TP out.
TP's out from BZM, latching onto him. So that puts the BKB on cooldown, which is pretty important as Roshan has just spawned.
Scouting.
Yeah, he's going back into it, pops the Greaves, but the X marks the spot, cannot be dispelled.
It's an important catch for XG here. Eliminate the scouting potential, though backstab from BZM.
Yeah, BZM's gonna get some vision on him. Whisper didn't even need that vision. He went straight for it. They got the latch. The static link goes out, but at the same time, the song is being used. Ame with his Daedalus is just not doing enough damage. He's having all of his damage ripped away by the Razer. XXS, last left alive, will go for the TP out. Jin-Q is actually trying to do some work by himself here, but he doesn't have that same kind of threat.
Well, not escape. BZM is just doing way too much.
Yeah, he is.
Well, you see the damage drain there. Ame tries his best to fight, but he does not get enough crits. And yeah, the tips to Sebe, who's valiantly sacrificed his life once again around this Roche to secure it. Basically a 4v5. You don't have your Lesh, I guess. That's the biggest factor. OG able to get there. XM is just, he's stuck TPing out versus this Razer, but it's costing them a decent amount. Another Roche that just does not sync up for XG.
Yeah, they're having a rough time around the Roche pit.
And a huge Aegis for BZM, who's not even going some crazy glass cannon build. He's tanking up on this Razer. Halberd into Satanic. You're just going to sit there and drain the gyro every fight and say, you can't kill me.
I really like the idea of the Halberd. I mean, it got buffed up, an extra 5% evasion, but also just, we said you need the Daedalus to push back against the Razer. Well, what happens if you get drained and halberded? So by the time you actually do get to hit anything, you've gotten like 80 of your damage stolen away.
I mean, I don't even think Ame's, he's not even really a factor anymore. It feels like XM needs to like XM plus Torrent Storm is how you're going to win a fight.
Yeah.
This gyro is just not scary.
Or get that Lotus, man.
Yeah, if you can reflect the link. Again, there's just no utility being built here.
Trying to go for Whisper. Still going for Whisper even after the BKB with the lasso. Though he is tanky, Ogre Seal Totem, very smooth move by him.
Have the X on him.
X and, he got the Timber Chain after the X. Pull back, Sharpshooter cuts across. He managed to hit the Tiny with a lock on. From BZM, all in on XM. Won't be able to chase him down entirely. Still has that Aegis, remember. They're going to try and poke at him from afar here. Song goes out. Saves the Aegis.
It's healing him up here, too.
Is Whisper going to blink? He was going to blink in for it. He actually messed it up, though. Hit the Timber Chain first, then blink, so it broke his own Timber Chain. Now he's going to be pulled back into his own death. Now a Tidal Wave almost pulled him off the cliff there, trying to catch heroes. BZM, I don't think he wants to stick around for this any longer, not with Whisper dead. They'll leave Ahri behind, it seems like.
Super nice fight from XG. Wearing out these BKBs. Ame plays super conservative, so he does not overextend. And eventually they find this Timber Saw on like the second X pullback. They catch him in a stun. That's all they need.
And Shiva's is done. Or going to be done for the Leshrac.
I mean, XM is... He is doing his best to carry this game. Putting Ame on his back right now. And if XG can start fights with a lasso going in, that's a way better recipe for success. Because their single target focus is still pretty good. It's just, in theory, OG should make that difficult to happen. Like you said, Naga Illusion's in, Moonlight Shadow. There's a tiny toss back threat. It's hard for XG to push up and find that lasso target, but if you can get it there and you take it, you're decisive, very fast, it can work out.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times he's been holding on to that lasso to try and stop the Razer, but that exact situation wasn't really needed since they're so close to our tier 3s.
These two are having... They're definitely having a laugh-off between the two of them. An ongoing support battle.
Jin Q is going the Lotus for you.
Okay, this is a really important item. Question of who was going to get it, but like somebody needs it in this game. If you can reflect this link on the Lesh or on the gyro, it's huge. You need Lotus, you need 4 staffs in this game. You need to help your cores reset these fights.
They use the banner as a bait. Oh, that's a clever move, but is it a good enough bait? XX says, oh man, he gets destroyed by BZM. A lot of effort, though, put into killing the Kunkka, which means that XM and Ame are free to take the fight. That's why Tomato resets on the Song.
Yeah, going back
BZM wants to go back in for it because he still has this Aegis.
He's so tanky.
He is going to lose his life here, but maybe he could still make it work on his second life.
And they got Jin Q on the side. That's a big find. He's a lot of their damage.
Whisper chasing after him. Slowing down Ame. Ame has to use his BKB, has to go for the TP out.
Smart man up by BZM, wasting the tail end of this Aegis. Nets him another support kill.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The vision in these fights is just, it's a nightmare on the map for XG. That's what this Naga Siren does to you. Scotty done for Tomato, so he's getting into territory where he might try and man up in some of these exchanges. Yeah, I don't think he necessarily has to, but with Bloodthorn, Scotty, Shroud, he will absolutely crunch these targets if he can isolate them. And if you're XG, you got to play around XM. I mean, he is your best hope. XM plus the Kunkka Bow Torrent Storm behind him. Maybe catch some hero off a good X, or you find a lasso, and you bring everything to this Leshrac. Because he's your real damage right now. By the way, Timbersaw, almost 25 again, at a very good pace this game.
Damn, Whisper.
I mean, this is...
25 second chakram up.
This is, in my opinion, his best hero.
Yes.
I think he has always just destroyed teams on the Timbersaw, and he's having another great series on it here. He got 2 games.
I think it's cool that Timbersaw's gameplay has also changed over time, right? Now we have this like Blink Dagger sort of burst assassination build, and Whisper looks just as comfortable with that as he did with the old Timbersaw.
Maybe more so.
Yeah.
More his style. Aggressive, explosive. Take it to you. And double Chakram is a lot more damage to pump in.
X gonna give it to you.
Radiant's top tower is
Whisper,
under attack.
excuse me, Yules into Wind Waker. That's what I was trying to get to. Wind Waker. XM's gonna try and build that as this next item.
Yeah, another item to bail out the cores when the Razer runs in.
Yeah.
You can get some Wind Wakers up, yeah. I can see you wearing out some of these fights. And then it might just come down to who gets the lasso, who gets the toss back. That's a better situation for XG than trying to just stand there and win the man fight versus the BKB Razer duration.
Is Lotus better or Lincoln's in this game for Xtreme? Because Ame was going Lincoln's, so right, that's totally fine. But did Q he was going Lotus, maybe Lincoln's, he's not sure which.
I mean, the Lincoln's is better in a passive state where you feel like someone on your team is going to get jumped because he's been caught a couple times. But I do think Lotus offers a lot this game versus the net. Like, someone gets netted, you Lotus them, they still have it up for a bit. You can't go in on that target as easily if you're OG. Yeah. But they both have their purposes this game.
I mean, it provides like a longer window to block out the Razer, where, you know, somebody else procs the Lincolns, then the Razer can just all in commit.
Quick smoke, trying to find somebody on the side of the map, and guess who it is? It's Seb, down here again. He'll probably get killed and then tipped by Jin Q, I would expect.
We know Seb doesn't care.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
As can be seen from his all chat.
Yeah, he's okay dying a couple times to rat out the lanes. But it is like a morale boost, you know? These Naga games where you feel like you just can't get out on the map, you find some kill. It does give you some mental breathing room.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit more confidence to actually push out the lanes, which is what they're doing here at bottom. The OG are
bad.
They're thinking about taking it without their Murata, with the bots too coming in. They almost pull up on him. He's getting away with 100 HP, but he doesn't have a satanic. The Leshrac is right on top of all of these heroes. The song will bail them out. But Ame is still trying to dance away from Whisper. They surely got him. He's trapped against the wall. Leshrac is going to have to carry this fight now for Xtreme, but they're kiting away from him right now. Okay, no, they go back into him with the Bloodthorn back up into play. He has the BKB, though, with the Bloodstone. That's going to heal him back up, get rid of that Bloodthorn, and allow him to bring down Whisper.
Buyback from DY, but he has no lasso here, so this is just to consolidate. As once more, Tomato does not want to man up on the tail end of these fights yet. Though at some point, you might have to. Especially when this Lesh is running low on mana. I think he's a lot tankier and stronger than we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Especially when they're focusing the other targets. But XM does his best. I cannot believe Ame survived that. And another 3-man bushwhack by Jin Q?
Oh yeah, he's hitting some monsters. Uh-oh. He has Yules, gets rid of the Bloodthorn. There's still Ari here.
That's
bot 2 on in from XM, trying to bail out his Kunkka, but immediately BZM will pounce. XM's trying to get away from him thanks to the tidal wave. He will break that lane.
Arrow.
Sharpshooter cuts across, hits the Razer. Arrow hits on the Kunkka. They manage to get him a little bit of distance here. Another Yules trying to get rid of the ensnare. Any more stuns? Ari's looking for an opportunity to jump in while BZM tries to pull these heroes back, but he can't get them. They retreat back to the tier 3, back to the safety of the Radiant base.
XG finding a lot more survivability in this late game. We saw Tomato man up, but we saw how fast that can turn on him too. And it will be the Lotus Orb for Jin Q in the end. So Ame went his own Lincolns, will get a Lotus on top of it. That'll help a lot. They can drag these fights out. The Lesh is doing some work. Very farmed.
I didn't see that, but DY, I think, was looking for a lasso pull up onto the cliff.
Yeah, he just wasn't in range.
Yeah, the little bit of Manta disjoint there, I think, was enough to dissuade him. Bloodstone now done for XXS.
Oh, that's big. And the Lotus Orb. Really big items here.
So bigger tidal wave, bigger, torrents.
Hag's tiny, okay. I mean, someone's got to carry this game.
He doesn't have damage to back it up just yet, besides base damage. But if he gets one more item, man.
This is Refresher Shard Roche. Give the shard to Tomato. Interesting. I thought the Razer might have wanted it here. This hero's a very good refresh hero.
Regeneration.
You can get double BKB, double Bloodthorn, double Sleep.
Yeah. Surprised too. I mean, especially since Razer has that 25 talent. Steals attack speed. Getting 2 of those links. Already pre-dewarded. So that ward's not going to last. Sorry, Seb.
Also level 25 talent for XM. A lot of extra damage off these Edicts. 25 explosions. You got to remember Edict got buffed a little too. It's 4 extra damage on the max. Another 100 damage out of that talent, but a lot of damage overall. It's like 700 or 800 off that talent alone. That's physical, which is really nice for the hero. Actually, it's pure now. I keep forgetting they changed that, but that talent's really good now, actually.
Yeah. It equates to, it goes from 1,360 total damage to 2,210.
Jeez.
So 2,210 damage out of this Diabolic Edict.
Pure damage.
Pure damage. Don't want to get caught alone in that thing.
It's getting amped as he just
He's got Kaya too. You're right. So it's doing close to 2,500 damage.
And Rogue. He has another plus 10 off reduction. There's no pipe on the side of OG, right? It's just this Shroud on the Naga and their BKBs. And they have 2 refreshers on top of that refresher shard. So that is why BZM did not take it as he finishes that up. Just builds his own, has the Link talent. We are closing in on the Hoodwink 25 as well. That hero also has bonker late game talents. Both those 25s are good, to be honest. I always struggle to determine it, but when you have this carry build, that Acorn shot is usually the go-to.
Yeah.
We'll see what he opts for, though.
Burst damage.
His build is not... It's not like he went Daedalus or something, right? He has a mix of utility with Manta for Dispel and Lotus. I could see extra AoE the way these fights are getting drawn out.
I would say Acorn because I think part of your win condition is lasso bursting somebody. And I think Acorn gives you a better chance at that. It also helps dealing with the Naga Siren illusions better.
Yeah. He's still a little bit off. Let's see what he opts for. But refresher on the Timber Saw as well, something to keep in mind. These are big items for OG. Helps them take those longer fights as well. Like we're seeing XG try and draw these out, wear out the BKBs. I mean, now you got 2 of them. A lot harder to make that play. Wind Waker. Man, XM he's near slotted. He's a beast. This Edict is gonna melt people. It's nasty at this point in the game.
I mean, he's gonna go for...
Oh, what a find.
Nice pullback on a Tiny. OG can't stop this.
Yeah, you're gone. Even if that chain stun doesn't land, you're just gonna get melted.
Yeah, you could do all this split pushing, but approaching the high ground is super dangerous. You're getting little bits of chip damage on these tier 3s.
Insta takes the Acorn, so... Yeah, I think that is the talent like 90% of the time, but in the games where you end up playing more of a utility Hoodwink, I don't think that other talent is bad at all.
Yeah, sure.
AoE stun is just good.
Hey,
did take Mindbreaker as well.
What do you think? He's going to go for Overwhelming Blink. Also wants the Sange for his Sange Kaya. What about Aghanim Scepter on Leshrac?
I don't think it's as good as scaling the damage elsewhere, but they're going to find another target. It's a Link.
Lotus Orb gets him away. XXS is controlled by BCM, and he's going to turn that damage refresh back onto the Leshrac as well. When they come out of this song, he's going to be taking away so much damage. That's where the Wind Waker comes in, trying to get away from him. BCM's trying to pull him back into his hands. Leshrac is trying to get away at the same time, while Nagasar barely escaped out of all that one.
So
BCM healed himself back up the phone. He's stolen so much damage. He
400
wiped out Ame.
2 full 200 links with the talent. No answer for Razer in that late game fight. It's going to force buybacks out of XG here. At this point, support Gyro will return to the skirmish and pray that XM is strong enough to defend this base.
What is XXS waiting for? Waiting for some sort of opportunity before he uses his buyback?
He's getting reeled in.
He is getting reeled in. Between the reel in and the shard pullback of the Razer.
These stuns are obnoxious.
They are stacking up.
Yeah. It's almost preventing these tossback plays too. It's like hard to blink in on this guy. But he's running out of mana.
Yeah, they decide to go to another lane. Okay, have your split earth stuff. You enjoy that.
Little tree volley going in.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Just a bit of a poke, a bit of a jab.
They're trying to wait for the two other heroes to come up. They need Lasso in these fights, and they need Torrent Storm.
Yeah, and OG have made the call. They're not going to fight with these heroes just on the edge of being able to come back to life. So they make the push. They get the melee barracks. They get the tier 3. Or are they going to get caught on the way out?
Land.
How did that pushback not land? Butterfly now for the Razer. I mean, I don't know if Ame's ever touching this Razer, man.
I don't think Ame's touching anything. I think it's coming down to you find a lasso on BZM or bust. This Razer is going to 1v5 you in the fight. You have nothing to stop him. Outside of you somehow Lotus a Link. Even then he has another Link. He's getting way too much attack speed. He has Butterfly on top of it. Mindbreaker going through. Shards pulling people in. That fight, he had 200 damage links with all the attack speed on. I mean, it's just disgusting.
Getting double Link and then having those units get songed is just dirty, man.
Yeah, it's... like, the only reason you're alive in this game is because you have buybacks. You don't have buybacks, that game just instantly ends. And they're just waiting for refreshers. That is all OG is doing right now. Seb has utility for days in this game. Lincoln's. And we still haven't really seen a toss back either. They just haven't even needed it.
Yeah.
But that is always a play OG can go for here. DY scouting off the smoke. He's trying to find a big core target. Or anything at this point.
Not gonna find it here.
And those refreshers are up. So OG, they can wait for the next Roche. Try and force the fight. Refresher for Naga. Refresher for Kunkka. Everybody's going to have 2 rounds. I think one of them hurts a lot more than the other. But
yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Once more, he searches.
I mean, there's always the possibility of getting Lasso into just double Torrent Storm chain stuns.
He did not chain it.
No chain stun there. Whisper gets off his BKB. Tomato runs into this fight.
Razor's here.
Razer, run from the Razer. Get away from him. Don't let him static link you. They're all popping their BKB. He's got the double links. He's pulling in these heroes. XM just cannot get away. Maybe he can actually reset a little
try
bit.
And fight him.
Are they going to go back and try and kill this guy? Song resets the whole fight. And they're at half health. This is dangerous. Refresh, ensnare, blow him up. Already Ame's dead. XM's healing off the Bloodstone though. XX is trying to do what he can. They have the splitters. They have the Torrent Storm. A lot of stuns, but there's too much damage. XM cannot handle BZM's Razer. It is too much for him. He buys back, but his whole team is dead.
Man,
what do you expect this man to do?
Go to the fountain.
Hit by the arrow.
Nothing bad has ever happened in the fountain.
Wind Waker's back. BCM was like, no.
Give him the rampage.
I mean, they have the lasso back up. They're going to pull in. Whisper, he got hit with it. Okay. Little bit awkward there. Couldn't get him all the way back. XM daring BCF to go for it again.
My old friend, I've returned.
Let me embrace you, Fountain, one more time.
They will play it safe. They will go for the buildings here. Once more, it is entirely up to XM.
There's the toss back. All right, XM fully committed. Just jumps into all of them with his AoE with the Bloodstone. He's doing a lot. It just looks like he's going to just fall just 20% shy of getting
God damn.
almost a team wipe.
That was almost doing it.